Hello Bama fans! Did you catch what Kirby Smart had to say about Ryan Williams? Was it surprising to you? Ryan Williams, the young and talented wide receiver from Alabama, is not only making waves with his on-field performance but also receiving high praise from one of the most respected figures in college football, Georgia's coach Kirby Smart. During the SEC coaches teleconference, Smart spared no praise, referring to Williams as extremely talented and highlighting the young athlete's charming personality. Interestingly, this respect and admiration aren't new, having begun not just with Georgia's preparations to face Alabama but from when the Bulldogs were eyeing this standout prospect during the recruiting period. Does Bama have a secret weapon against Georgia then? Williams, a freshman who has just turned 17 and reclassified for the 2024 recruiting class, has already made a significant impact in the first 3 games of his collegiate career. He leads Alabama in receptions, racking up 10 catches for 285 yards and no less than 4 touchdowns. Williams' precociousness, both in terms of performance and mindset, is impressive, particularly given the pressure of playing in one of the most competitive and victorious football programs. Kirby Smart, who has extensive experience developing and facing exceptional talents, compared Williams to the great names Alabama has produced in the past. He specifically mentioned the speed, talent, and confidence the young player demonstrates on the field, traits that are hallmarks of receivers who have gone through the Crimson Tide and now shine in the NFL. Smart's observations reinforce just how well-prepared Williams seems to be to take on any challenge. Smart's comment that Williams isn't one of those guys for whom the moment is too big could not be more accurate. In each of his appearances so far, the wide receiver has displayed a control and calmness rarely seen in a freshman, let alone one who hasn't even turned 18. There's a maturity to Williams' game that stands out, something that opposing coaches have clearly noticed. Despite all the pressure and expectations that come with donning the Alabama jersey, he seems immune to the anxiety that might paralyze other athletes in his position. Smart's praise that Williams has naturally made plays in every game also points to a level of preparation and adaptation that is rare, even in a program like Alabama, accustomed to rapidly developing stars. The fact that a coach like Kirby Smart, who has a history of leading elite defenses, makes such positive remarks about an opposing freshman only emphasizes the impact Williams is already having. These statements not only validate Williams' potential but also put him even more in the spotlight, something that the young athlete seems to be handling with enviable ease. Alabama's coach, Kalen DeBoer, certainly sees Williams as a crucial piece for the future of the Crimson Tide's offense. The way he has been integrated into the team in his first year already shows the level of trust that DeBoer and his coaching staff place in the young receiver. With the game against Georgia approaching, all eyes will be on Ryan Williams. He has already shown that he can handle the pressure of big games, but this will be a true test of fire, facing one of the SEC's top defenses and one of the most consistent programs of the past decade. If Williams continues to perform as he has, there's no doubt that he will be a key player for Alabama in one of the most anticipated matchups of the season. However, Williams' future at Alabama looks even more promising. Still early in his college football journey, he has already shown glimpses of greatness, and with the right guidance, he is on track to become a national-level star. His immediate impact is a reflection not just of his innate talent but also of Alabama's winning culture, which knows how to prepare its players for success from day one. The fact that Williams has already captured the attention of opposing coaches like Kirby Smart only reinforces the idea that Alabama may have found another elite wide receiver. What do you think? Comment at the end of the video. Kirby Smart, preparing for yet another major showdown against Alabama, this time encounters a different atmosphere in Tuscaloosa. Since leaving his role as the Crimson Tide's defensive coordinator to take the helm at Georgia, he has only returned to Bryant-Denny Stadium once, in 2020, for a matchup against an Alabama team led by Nick Saban. On that occasion, the stadium was far from its maximum capacity due to pandemic restrictions, with only 19,424 fans present. However, Smart now returns to face an Alabama without Saban on the sidelines, a sight that is still hard to assimilate for many. Nick Saban, who retired in January, left an unparalleled legacy in college football, especially in Tuscaloosa. Yet, Kalen DeBoer has taken over, and Alabama remains one of the giants of the SEC. Kirby Smart, in his statements, does not see Saban's absence as something that fundamentally alters the dynamics of the matchup. For him, college football continues its natural course, with inevitable changes over the years. As he mentioned during a press conference in Athens, this is just the normal course of progression. As much as returning to Tuscaloosa may stir personal memories for Smart, especially considering he spent 9 years there, experiencing significant moments in both his personal and professional life, he made it clear that these emotions are quickly overlaid by the intensity of game preparation. "It's odd going back there sometimes because I lived there, our kids were born there, and they had such good experiences there. But at the same time, the focus on the game makes those feelings fade away." Smart's statement underscores a fundamental truth in the world of college football: the focus and preparation for the next challenge overshadow any nostalgia or personal sentiment. When asked about the difference in coaching against Alabama without Nick Saban, he admitted that the absence of the former coach does not make the matchup any less significant. After all, Alabama remains one of the country's top programs, and many of the players on the field were recruited by Saban himself, carrying his influence and philosophy. Smart highlighted this point by saying, "He recruited many of them, and they are good players." What makes this Saturday's duel even more intriguing is the context in which it unfolds. Both Alabama and Georgia are coming off bye weeks, which allowed more detailed preparation for the showdown. The game will be held under the watchful eyes of ESPN and College Game Day, adding an extra layer of visibility for both teams. The Bulldogs, currently ranked as the #1 team on the coaches' poll and #2 in the AP Top 25, are firmly on the national stage, as Smart pointed out. Georgia has solidified itself as a powerhouse in college football in recent years, especially after its achievements over the last 3 to 4 years. Though Smart has a long history with Alabama and Saban, he does not let himself be distracted by the narrative. As he himself stated, the frenetic pace of a game weekend leaves little room for sentimentality. "You're there and then you're gone," he commented, explaining that the focus remains on the players and what needs to be done on the field. This pragmatic, focused approach is one of Smart's trademarks since taking over at Georgia. Although he holds great respect for many who are still part of the Alabama organization, he understands that the SEC is a competitive conference, where friendships are set aside in the name of victory. Even with Nick Saban now acting as an analyst, his presence will still be felt in the game, something that Smart himself acknowledged. Saban's DNA is embedded in the Alabama team, in every player he recruited, in every standard he set. But for Kirby Smart, this is just another challenge, an opportunity to test his own program against one of the greatest names in college football history. The matchup between Alabama and Georgia goes beyond a simple rivalry between two SEC teams. It is a game that represents a clash of philosophies, traditions, and legacies. For Kirby Smart, it's another chance to show that his Georgia is ready to continue dominating the national scene, no matter who is on the sidelines for Alabama. And for Alabama, led by Kalen DeBoer, it's an opportunity to prove that the successful legacy Nick Saban built is strong enough to continue even without him at the helm. This will undoubtedly be one of the most anticipated games of the season, and as Smart said, it's a great opportunity for his players and the program. And for Alabama to win this game too. Alabama's offensive coordinator, Nick Sheridan, was succinct in describing Georgia's defense as excellent, a word he repeated several times during his analysis. Indeed, the numbers speak for themselves. Georgia's defense, currently ranked #4 in all of college football, has been allowing just 202 yards per game and has not yet conceded a touchdown this season. For Sheridan, the excellence of the Bulldogs' defense lies not only in the quality of the players but also in the cohesion of the coaching team. He noted that Georgia's players are tall, fast, and explosive at all 3 levels of the field, making the task of preparing Alabama's offense even more challenging. They have a great system in place, Sheridan acknowledged, recognizing that the continuity of Smart's work and his coaching staff is a key factor in Georgia's success. Kalen DeBoer, who is leading Alabama in his first season, also did not hold back in his praise for Kirby Smart. He highlighted his respect for the Georgia coach and the success Smart has accumulated over his career, particularly with the Bulldogs' recent dominance on the national stage. A lot of respect for Coach Smart and everything he has achieved in his career, and, obviously, they're at Georgia with all the success they've had, DeBoer stated. The preparation to face Georgia involves a meticulous analysis not only of the Bulldogs' defense but also of their offense. Kane Womack, Alabama's defensive coordinator, praised the efficiency of the offense led by Mike Bobo, highlighting the team's ability to keep opponents always unsure and off balance. But undoubtedly, the standout of Georgia's offense is quarterback Carson Beck, who has impressed Womack with his accuracy and quick decision-making. Womack described Beck as good as it gets in college football right now, emphasizing his efficiency in protecting the ball and avoiding mistakes. Beck has not thrown an interception this season, which makes the job of Alabama's defense even more complex. I get more impressed with him the more I watch, Womack said, also praising Beck's quick release and accuracy in the intermediate passing game. While Georgia's offense has not been as statistically dominant as its defense so far, it has been efficient enough to put the Bulldogs in a position to win. Even with an underwhelming performance against Kentucky, where they scored only 13 points, the offense remains a constant threat, with a quarterback who rarely makes mistakes and an offensive line that effectively protects the pass. Georgia's defense, on the other hand, is the biggest challenge for Alabama's offense, especially for quarterback Jaylen Milo. With Malachi Starks leading the defensive unit, Sheridan acknowledged that it will be tough to maintain control against a defense that leads the country, allowing just 91.3 passing yards per game. Starks, a unanimous All-America selection in 2023, is described as a versatile player, capable of performing both near the line of scrimmage and in deep coverage, and his ability to cover man-to-man makes the Bulldogs' defense even more formidable. Sheridan highlighted the synergy between Georgia's front seven and the secondary, which work together to pressure the opposing quarterback and efficiently cover the field. I think both ends of the defense, the back end and the front, do a good job of complementing each other, and make it a challenge, Sheridan stated. This challenge will be even greater with the pressure of a packed stadium at Bryant-Denny, where Alabama will look to overcome the country's number 1 or 2 team, depending on the ranking used. Coach DeBoer is aware of the magnitude of this game and the importance it holds for his program. Although this is his first major battle against Kirby Smart at the helm of the Crimson Tide, he is confident that his team is prepared for the challenge, even knowing that Nick Saban's legacy still looms over Tuscaloosa. The transition to Kalen DeBoer was swift, and the new coach understands that the shadow of Saban's success will be a constant presence, but he also sees this as an opportunity to prove his worth at the helm of one of the largest programs in college football. This matchup between Alabama and Georgia goes beyond just numbers and rankings. It is a clash of philosophies, of elite coaches, and of programs that, in recent years, have dominated the SEC and college football scene as a whole. Let's go! Jaylen Milo has experienced a significant transition since arriving in Tuscaloosa. Initially recruited in 2020, when Nick Saban was still leading the program, Milo spent 3 seasons learning under the tutelage of one of the greatest coaches in college football history. However, Saban's retirement in January this year brought significant changes, and Milo's commitment to the Crimson Tide was tested. Despite receiving several offers from other major programs, Milo chose to remain loyal to Alabama, a decision that now seems wise under the leadership of the new coach, Kalen DeBoer. Discussing his experience with DeBoer, Milo revealed a moment that perfectly encapsulates the new coach's training style. In an interview with Claudette Montana from Sports Illustrated, Milo shared a play from spring ball that gave him his first real impression of DeBoer. After completing a successful long pass, while the whole team was celebrating, Milo immediately focused on the next play. This focus on the present moment is something athletes often cultivate, but that's when DeBoer intervened, offering a new perspective to the young quarterback. DeBoer pulled Milroe aside and asked, "Are you okay?" Milroe, not fully understanding what the coach meant, was puzzled. DeBoer then added, "You made a really good pass there. Don't you want to go celebrate?" When Milroe replied that he was focused on the next play, DeBoer's response was surprising. "No, I want you to celebrate those big plays. You made a great play there. Celebrate those plays." This simple yet significant moment demonstrated DeBoer's philosophy, a balance between focusing on the game and celebrating success. While Saban was known for his methodical style and next-play approach, DeBoer brings a lightness to the environment, promoting positive reinforcement that allows players to savor their achievements. For Milroe, it was a quick initial impression that the new Alabama coach would not only demand excellence but also encourage players to enjoy the journey to success. This more humanized style, focused on positivity, is reflected in Milroe's performance in the 2024 season. In the first 3 games, he threw for 590 yards, 8 touchdowns, and, most impressively, no interceptions. His completion rate of 35 passes on 52 attempts resulted in an outstanding passer rating of 213.4, showing considerable evolution compared to previous seasons. Under DeBoer's guidance, Milroe seems to be playing with more confidence and freedom, celebrating his big plays and growing within the new coach's system. Alabama faces its first major test of the season, a rematch against Georgia, ranked number 2 in the country, in what promises to be one of the most anticipated games of the year. The matchup will be a repeat of the 2023 SEC championship game, and with Milroe leading the Crimson Tide's offense, expectations are high for him to continue displaying the same high-level performance he has shown in the early games. Kalen DeBoer, since taking over at Alabama, has brought a new spirit to the program, and Milroe is the perfect example of how this coaching style can positively impact a player. As the pressure mounts with the arrival of Week 5 and the matchup against Georgia, Milroe seems more than prepared, not just in terms of technical skill but also mentally, embracing the culture of celebration and positivity that DeBoer has introduced to the Crimson Tide. The next phase of the season will be a significant challenge but also an opportunity to solidify Milroe's place as the leader of Alabama, demonstrating that he is capable of commanding the team in big games against the nation's top opponents. If he continues to perform as he has so far, and with the support of a coach who knows how to balance demand and encouragement, the future for Milroe and Alabama under Kalen DeBoer looks promising. What's your take on Bama today? Your comments are important.